everyone! Today I will take you to take a look at the asset library. Many of our users are using the Wings engine when making digital twin projects. Often encountered, I hope to save my own. Their digital twin models into a personal model library, or when we are making some two-dimensional charts. And there are some style settings. We want to save the style settings of previous projects. Style settings to save for future use. For future use. Or one previously developed. A custom chart. Through secondary development or iframes. Or iframe embedding. We also hope to reuse this component repeatedly. Then we can use the Wings Engine Asset Library. Today, let's take a look at how to use this function. We create a new three-dimensional digital twin. To demonstrate this function, because this project has both two-dimensional and three-dimensional components. Okay, after we've completed the new project, we can see that this is a completely blank. A project with a car. Let's first look at our two-dimensional. These chart components. Or these basic elements. How these components enter the asset library. The first and simplest way is to insert a chart. For example, we insert a chart like this. Okay, here. Let's go up. Yes, okay, put it here. This chart. We can modify its color. For example, we can change it to orange-yellow. Suppose I want to make a set of orange-yellow charts. I can import this chart and put it in our asset library. And we can use it repeatedly later. How do we do it? We can right-click here and find Add Asset Library. At this time, we can customize the name. For example, we can define it as yellow. Okay, group, assemble group. Or you can do it according to your own needs. Then we can put it in our asset directory. We can define this directory. To define this directory ourselves, we currently only have all. Click OK. After clicking successfully, we click on the chart again. Find the asset library label on the upper side. And you can see the chart component in the asset library. We click it. Okay, you can see that I've just set the style of the asset library I just set. This is a very simple operation. Okay, let's delete these two first. In addition to adding a chart into the asset library, we can also package multiple charts into a package as a new component to be added to the library. In this way, our custom components will be much richer. For example, this function here. I can combine it into a grouping panel and then put the entire group panel into the library. And I can generate my own. A new style component. For this case, we need to group it first. And group them. We click it. Right-click. And there is a group, okay? If you already have a grouping panel, and then put components inside, then you don't need to do that. This is because it was originally scattered. Well, at this time, I can. You can right-click on it and put the entire group panel into our asset library. Okay, click. We can call it the group panel. We can call it an introduction panel. Okay, click OK. Okay, let's click again. And we can see here, there is an introduction panel. There may be some problems with this screenshot. If you don't like the screenshots, click on the home page. Click on the asset library, and you can see that the asset that has not been added to the asset library. We can change the cover here. And we can have a better cover. I won't change it here. Click on the side. But don't click here, because clicking here will insert a new component. It will be inserted into this grouping panel. We click on the top, or click the blank area. Then we click on the introduction panel. As you can see, in this way, we have a relatively complex way to define a component. And we can be used repeatedly. This is the way we use the asset library. Of course, in the process of using the asset library, our interactions, our data, and our code can be brought into the library to some extent. What do we mean by to some extent? For example, our interaction. If it doesn't interact. Other components outside the asset library. It can be brought in, such as its own operations. And our code. Our code is also, as long as it operates on itself, it can be brought in. So we can use code to define some of its own behaviors so that it can be included in the asset library. Okay, this is a way to use the asset library in 2 dimensions. Now let's look at the 3-dimensional. Let's delete this first. We double-click to enter the editing of the entire 3-dimensional scene. Okay, for the 3-dimensional scene, has more types than the 2-dimensional scene? Much richer, such as models, and GIS, and types. We currently support components, GIS, drawing materials, and okay, including our kits. The suite is actually a model, and these components are stored. Of course, the most important thing among all is the model's inclusion. Now let's take a look at 2 ways to import models. The first is to import our own models. Note that we cannot directly. and load our 3D model or two-dimensional components. For example, I have a three-dimensional model in GLB format. I can't just into this asset library because the asset library only supports its own format. How does our model enter the library? We first need to import it into our scene. We click Import and then put the model on it. Okay, let's click Import. Okay, let's find this model. The model is here. Let's drop it down. Okay. We need to import it into our scene first. Then, in the scene, we right-click and add it to the asset library. Of course, we have one more thing to say. That is to say, here we can see this has a bottom panel. If I don't want this bottom panel now, and I want to hide it, what should I do? Some of you may click Hide here. Note that clicking hides here. It only edits in this project. If you want it to be hidden when you save it, you need to select it. Then go to the Right Style section and turn off the display. In this way, when it is added to the asset library, it will be hidden when it is added to the library. Of course, in addition to right-clicking on the entire model, right-click to add to the asset library. We can also take out some of its sub-items and add them to the asset library. You can also add it to the asset library here. Of course, our material can also be added to the asset library. We can use it later. For example, we repeatedly set some normals or some others, such as the luminous material, roughness, base group setting. We can also put it in the asset library. This way, we can form our own material library, just like the material library of glasses. Let's first look at our model library today. Right-click on the high-rise residential buildings. Okay, we click Add to Asset Library. Okay, let's click OK. In the same way, we can look for it in our asset library. We can see that there is a high-rise residential here. But note that, as I said before, there may be some inconsistencies. You can click to change, to use your own screenshots. Okay, here, for example, I can use I can directly take a screenshot for it. I'll take a screenshot. You can do it according to your own needs. Let's save it. Okay, then we upload this here. Okay, we selected this one. The screenshots we just took. Double-click it. In this way, we can get a cover image like this. Because of the entire size ratio of this cover image. Because of its entire size and proportion problem. So we can take a screenshot, a relatively wider one. I won't show you again. Let's go back to our group. In the scene of components, we click on the model, just like in two-dimensional, and come to the asset library. And we can see that the component we just inserted, and the model, we click on it. Please wait a moment, because there is a loading process. Okay, in this way, our entire model, it becomes a model library mode. It's just like the model library, the built-in model library. It can even be like this, and click like this. Okay, in this way, we can do it. This kind of model, unlike the previous one, I can only export and put it in the middle. In addition, we know that it also supports brushes and also a path, which is a way to place the model. Can we do this? We can do it too. We click on the home page and select it. We can see here there is which is how to insert our model. We can select the brush and the path in this way. Then we go back here and click it again. Let's delete the previous one first. Then we click on the model and click it again. Wait a moment. Okay, we can see that in the upper left corner, we already have 3 forms. We can click one first and cancel it. Let's click on another one. This is the form of a brush. Our current density coefficient is very high. For example, I cover the density coefficient to 2. Press enter, and then we can brush here. And we can paint a lot. Of course, I can also erase it. Okay, we can erase it, so everyone can use our asset library. You can have our wings engines built in. Model library. It will be very convenient for you to accumulate their own array of twin 3D assets at the same time. We can also add code to these 3D assets before warehousing. We click on it. Click on it. We can add code to it so that it can have some behaviors, so that we can repeatedly. Using such a 3-dimensional asset will greatly accelerate the process of development. The development process of the digital twin project. Okay, today we'll take you through. Take a look at the process of 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional assets. We will also explain in the later tutorials. Explain in detail, including some illustrations in the Book of Mountains and Seas, GIS and some of our, and materials into the library. And during the process of our library, if interactions or code code additions. Or our custom two-dimensional components. Such as adding an iframe. Okay, that's all for today's class.